Hello, West Irondequoit. My name is Chrissy Miga, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Instruction here in West Irondequoit. I'm excited to share updates with you today regarding shifts to our K-6 report cards for the 2025-26 school year. This work actually began during the 2019-2020 school year when we brought together a committee including staff, parents, and administrators. Due to the pandemic, we had to pause our work for a few years, and then we were able to reignite our work in the 2022-23 school year. We again brought together staff and families. Today, we are excited to share with you the results of this extensive work. This information has been previously communicated in the October 2024 Curriculum Corner and K-6 newsletters, as well as our District Quote March 2025 edition. We have linked these items with this presentation so you can review them at your leisure. Next, the Office of Instruction team will be leading you through the survey results, data, and shifts so you can start next school year with a clear understanding of what the new report cards will look and feel like.
Hi, I'm Kelly Santora, the Director of Data Assessment and Interventions. After COVID, we restarted this work again in the 22-23 school year. The district has been working with families and teachers in support of updating our report cards, aligning them to the updated state standards, along with family expectations regarding report cards and comments. We sent out the family survey again in 22-23 due to the fact that many of our families that completed the survey back in 2020 may no longer have had children in our K-6 buildings. So we combined that survey information from 2020 with the survey information from 22-23 to look at general trends that we noted in both surveys to help us guide our work. As you can see on this slide, we've had 280 responses in the 22-23 school year and a good representation from all of our K-6 buildings and across grade levels. The survey questions ask how well families think our current report cards communicate their child's progress, along with how satisfied they are with information and standards included on the report card. So overall, 78% of families stated that the current report card communicated their child's progress well to very well, where 32% stated that the report cards only somewhat or not at all communicated how their children were performing in school. The information and standards included rated more highly with an 86-14% split. After we asked those questions about how well the report cards reported out on students' progress, there were 2 boxes for families to provide us with any comments or suggestions for improvement. The report card committee then analyzed families' comments in the open comment section into overall themes. These comments then guided our work in creating guidelines and refining our report cards. The major themes were more clarity around student progress towards standards, more individualized comments about their child and less about the curriculum, and how their child is doing social-emotionally as well as academically.
Based on the work of the committee, we came up with the following shifts to our K-6 report cards. For all report cards grades K through 6, we will shift to trimester report cards, which means all students K through 6 will get their first report card in early December, followed by a second report card around March, and a third and final report card at the end of the school year. To do this, we have been working throughout the 2024-25 school year to create common expectations and guidance documents for teachers and staff so your child's progress can be accurately and clearly reported. We will continue to provide professional learning to staff through the summer and at the beginning of next school year to support this. For grades K through 4 only, we not only shifted the number of report cards, but also the format. We have revised indicators and performance levels to more clearly communicate student progress, as well as be aligned to the most recent New York State standards. We also made revisions to how the comments are completed and have created guidance for teachers based on family feedback. It's important to note that grades 5 through 6 report cards will look the same as they have. While they are shifting to trimester report cards and receiving 3 per year, we wanted to make sure that the grades 5 through 6 report cards continue to be a bridge to the grading style used at the secondary level. We believe this will promote the transition of our upper elementary students to 7th grade and beyond. Next, I will turn it over to our directors of instruction to explain these shifts in more detail.
Hello, my name is Orlando Marrero, and I'm the Director of STEAM here at West Irondequoit Schools. Earlier, you heard that one of our shifts was moving to a trimester structure for report cards. This provides an advantage in a couple of different ways. So first, it provides a more accurate representation and a more accurate ways for us to assess and provide feedback for students. In our case, it would better align to our benchmarking schedule. So fewer reports would allow more time for teachers to more thoroughly review and assess student progress and provide more meaningful and accurate feedback to students and families regarding student progress. It also, we're hopeful that it will reduce stress for our students. With a less frequent reporting schedule, we are relieving pressure on some of our youngest students, allowing them to focus more on learning and growth rather than constant evaluations. It also better aligns to our curriculum pacing. The earlier part of the school year, particularly in K-4, is spent establishing routines and classroom culture with a slightly reduced academic focus. So later first report card gives students time to get into academic work for a little bit longer prior to the first report card. It also provides for more streamlined parent-teacher communication. Having a later first report card really allows teachers to share information that better aligns to the report cards during those first parent-teacher conferences.
Hello, my name is Kim Crystal, and I am the Director of Humanities for West Irondequoit Schools. Consistency across classrooms and grade levels is essential for effective and meaningful communication with families. We are working closely with teachers to define clearly each level of performance and list out the various examples of student performance that teachers should use when determining a score for a student, both within the K-4 report card structure and the 5-6 gradebook structure. Our goal is to ensure all students across teachers and buildings receive consistent feedback.
So our previous report cards showed students' performance levels using a scale that was articulated in terms of not meeting, approaching, meeting, and exceeding expectations. These four levels weren't defined as clearly as we would like. And so in an effort to better communicate an accurate picture of student performance, we're shifting to a 1 through 4 structure that is more clearly defined by each performance level based on how students progress through their in-class assignments and assessments. So students who, one of the big changes that you'll notice is that there isn't an exceeding expectations level on this list. Students who are exceeding expectations will still be recognized, but that will be done through comments. And it's important for us to understand that because we're using a point in time reporting system, it's possible, for example, that a student may receive a 4 on an indicator in November, communicating that they're meeting the grade level expectations for November, but then might receive, for example, a 3 for the same indicator in March. This would most typically occur due to the increased complexity of the learning expectations between November and March. And so a child experiencing greater challenges with those complexities might result in a lower numerical evaluation. So in other words, a 4 in November or March report card doesn't necessarily mean that the child has mastered the skill completely and is done for the year. They're meeting expectations for that moment in time. And so removing the exceeding expectations allows us to provide a more accurate picture on an in-time basis or in the moment basis. We've also more clearly defined how students perform in a specific class assignment and assessments to better reflect a student's performance level. So our teachers will have better data to draw on to determine what score a student will receive in any particular moment in time for a particular subject. So this comment that you see on the screen is intended to be a representation of what an exceeding comment would look like for students who might have been rated as meeting expectations for a particular standard, but might be actually exceeding in certain areas. So in this example, you're looking at a first grade student who's performing above expectations for trimester 2. the student is reading at a level that is beyond the standard expectation for the winter months of first grade. So the student will still receive a score of a 4, which is meeting expectations on that performance indicator, but would be recognized as exceeding through this comment. You'll note that at the bottom, at the very end of the comment, it says he is now reading 47 words per minute, which is beyond the winter benchmark range. So a parent reading this comment would understand that their student is actually exceeding expectations for this point in time in that particular standard in ELA. We've also done significant work to make sure that our curriculum is better aligned to current New York State standards. Therefore, our performance level indicators in the report card necessitated a change. So those are going to look a little bit different now. The new performance indicators are completely aligned to the New York State standards. And you'll see that in the language of each one of those indicators. It might be a little bit unfamiliar compared to ones that you might have seen before. Additionally, our learning behaviors are going to change. They're going to be based on the New York State SEL framework, which articulates expected social emotional behavior expectations and skills for our students at each grade level.
At the K-4 level, as mentioned earlier, we are working in collaboration with teaching staff to create more consistency across teachers and grade levels as to how comments are crafted and what they include. The new guidance provides teachers with a framework for how to effectively share specific student performance in each academic area, as well as how to provide clear and specific feedback on students' growth in learning behaviors. This structure will provide the space for teachers to share the many ways in which students show exceptional creativity, care, and curiosity in their classroom.
Thank you for taking the time to hear more about the work we've been doing with K-6 report cards. Our goal is to better communicate student learning to families and members of the learning team through a clear and concise report card which represents the whole child. If you have any questions or feedback after listening to this presentation, we would love to hear from you. Please use the link provided to send questions and feedback our way. One of us will respond to any questions or feedback in a timely manner. Thank you.